name's Joyce Gibb, and thanks for being with me today. Methylation. What is methylation? You hear Joe talk about methylation all the time, and what methylation is a carbon and 3 hydrogens. Well, why is that important, you say? Because methylation happens in every gene and every cell of your body. It needs methylation for it to function properly. And when somebody's a poor methylator, that can lead to your genes being turned on and helps promote cancer. Your genes turn on and off thousands and thousands of times every second of every day. So adding this methyl group, which is a carbon and 3 hydrogens, to enzymes, to nutrients, to a gene, to a hormone, and to a neurotransmitter is called methylation. So there's many reasons why that happens. So I talked about what happens if this fails. If it fails poorly, you can also have cardiovascular disease or plaque hardening of the arteries. And that can happen with poor methylation. And specifically, the gene that does that is the MTHFR 677 gene. No, those are big words, but it's just something important to note when you have poor vascular health. There was a tale of 2 mice, and there was a mouse that was fat, sluggish, couldn't make it through the maze, fatigued easily, and there was a mouse that was thin, smart, focused, and ran fast through the maze. Which one of those 2 mice do you feel was a good methylator? It was the thin, lean, focused mouse. And that can happen with our bodies. When we become fat and non-active, poor eating, that only enhances poor methylation, which we don't want. So the second, the mouse with the lean mouse was the best. And this methylation process, 85% of this happens through our liver. Our liver is the main detox organ. And you think of all the processes that happens every day through your liver. They say when a male leaves the house in the morning, a guy after they get their shower and wash their hair, etc., they're exposed to 65 chemicals just when leaving the house in the morning. A female's about 165. Of course, they put more stuff on their bodies, to smell good, etc. But that's a lot of chemicals for our liver to process and to detoxify. And just remember that the liver is the main detox organ. So other than your skin, your heart, your brain, your lungs, really the liver, if it's not detoxified well, it really can make you sick. So what are some things that we should do things that we should avoid to help us methylate? We should avoid alcohol, especially if you have a bad gene or you have poor methylating genes. You have a copy of the MTHFR. There's 1298, 677, those complicated genes. But if you have any one copy, which is called heterozygous, if you have one copy, that's even a concern to have alcohol. Recreational drugs should not be used. That all is processed through your liver. Narcotics are all processed through your liver. Everything that we consume, the air we breathe, the food we eat, the carpets that we have on the floor, etc., all that has problems with goes through your liver. So think about that. So what are some processes that depend on methylation? The first one is genetic expression. And so with our genes, anxiety, depression, autoimmune diseases, cancer, they all have a genetic component. And so if we're not methylating well, we're going to be more prone to those disease states. We also convert food into energy. If you're good at converting food into energy, you're lean, you're fit. If you're poor at converting food to energy, then you can have methylation problems and you can be fat and sluggish and tired. But methylation comes to the rescue. There's actually a supplement called L-carnitine that enables your body to burn more fat for fuel. A lot of muscle weightlifter people, they use L-carnitine. Another process that's necessary that methylation does is cellular protection. So our cells are all surrounded by a cell membrane that lets certain nutrients in and out of the cell. Phosphatidylcholine is actually one of those that it's like a nutrient that actually aids, it's a chemical messenger that aids in methylation. And it regulates the cell death, and there are actually 2.5 million cells die every second in our body. Your skin sloughs off, your brain, every part of the organ, they all, get better, get worse, like your red blood cells. Every 20 days, there's a turnover of red blood cells. The second thing is your bile, which is produced by the liver. It helps absorb fat and regulates bacteria in the gut and goes from your liver to your gallbladder, and that also helps with cellular protection. Your brain and your muscle health, you actually need creatine, and a lot of weightlifters use creatine, and that uses your muscle as fuel. You get more creatine, that helps with that. Need reproduction and balancing of your neurotransmitters, B6, B12, all those different B vitamins are important in dopamine, epi, norepi, serotonin, and GABA, and even in the hormone that helps with your sleep is called melatonin. It helps with that also. Stress and relaxation responses. Methylation is important in that process. So you have the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight response. When you hear people picking up cars, etc., like that, that's a sympathetic nervous system. But in high times of stress or chronic stress, that's high all the time, where it should be should be a little bit lower. You have the parasympathetic system, which is the opposite of that, and it's called rest and digest. And so you have the calming side. And methylation helps with this balance of your stress response. And I see many, many people now that have a lot of stress in their lives, chronic stress from their job, their family, money, relationships, all that. Where before it seems like things calm down a little bit, we expect a lot of each other, and we have chronic stress all the time. But methylation helps with that. Your immune response, the immune system, methylation helps with protecting invaders. Cardiovascular function, I think I talked about this a little bit ago. Hardening of the arteries happens with that 677 MTHFR genetic variant. DNA repair, our DNA are constantly undergoing repair. One thing I do want to get straight here, we always talk about, before we talk about folic acid, that being the best form of the nutrient to help with methylation. Well, it's not. Basically, it's the artificial form, which is folic acid. The best form is folate, which is the active form, and it's B9, and that methylfolate is actually the best form of folate to have. So, a lot of our daily essentials are coenzyme B complete. A lot of our supplements switched from folic acid to methyl tetrahydrofolate. This has a 5 in it, front of it a lot of times too. So, but that's the best form. So why do you really need that form of folate? Because if you use folic acid, the synthetic form, then it actually blocks those folate receptors, which doesn't allow folate to go into the cell. And so that's why a lot of people have, problems with anxiety, depression, because you need those B vitamins to actually help regulate your mood. So methylation, that's just a short summary of what happens with methylation in our body. And we do have something called methylation essentials that you take 2 a day, and that can help promote good methylation. And so I'd love to help you on your journey to good health, and give me a call. Thanks for watching. If this information was helpful, hit that thumbs up button down below. If you want more videos like this, hit the subscribe button down below, then ring the bell next to it. Also, if you know other people that you would want to share this link with, please do so, because I would love to help them on their journey to good health.